Howdy there, and thanks for joining me on the Obscure Curio. I, of course, am your host, Clifford Dryomin. I want to give a brief thank you to the sponsors of today's episode, our pals over at Just Eat It. Just Eat It is a revolutionary subscription meal service, but without all the bells and whistles of their competitors. You see, for the insanely low price of just $29.99 a month, Just Eat It will send you 3 edible items for every day of said month. Everything you find within each package from Just Eat It is 100% edible and at least 98% digestible. Furthermore, each individual meal meets the minimum caloric intake requirement for most bodily functions. You're not going to find a deal like this ever again, so try it for a month. If you don't like it, you can cancel anytime. And right now, if you head on over to justeatit.com and type in the promo code Chrysanthemum, they are offering the first month free for listeners of this podcast. It's food, we promise. Just eat it. Alright, you guys, I want to let you know this episode of the Obscure Curio is dedicated to the memory of Uncle Chris Buckley. In it, I am joined by the Wampus Cat, our good friend Joey, who was also very close with Uncle Chris. We start the show by saying a few words in his memory, and then attempt to carry on in a fashion we think he would have enjoyed, and that we hope you all enjoy as well. It isn't much, but these conversations are our genuine attempt at keeping his memory alive, and continuing to share some of the same joy he brought us with others. After recording this episode, we did record another, bit looser of an episode, which is only available to our Patreon patrons. So if you are interested in that, check out our exclusive episodes over at www.patreon.com/theobscurecurio, where you can subscribe for just $1 a month and get access to exclusive episodes, music, and more. Join us for a live show at twitch.tv/theobscurecurio every Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday nights at 12:45 a.m. And find links to our YouTube channel, social media, official merch, Discord, and more by visiting www.theobscurecurio.com. Love you guys, and we love you, Uncle Chris. This one's for you. Hello, and welcome to the Obscure Curio. What's up, everybody? Glad to see you.
Welcome back.
That ain't in position.
It is now.
There you go.
How's everybody doing this evening?
Hell, man. Let me ask them. How's everybody doing?
We're doing all right.
I'll
Said
insert
they're doing all right back here.
some cheer noises there, dude, so it makes it seem like
edit
we're...
me out since you didn't give me the 411 on that.
Why would I edit you out? I'll just make that sound like it's part of it.
Mm.
Anyway, let's blow past all this. Let's plow ahead, because that's terrible.
This
Terrible start.
Yeah, this is how we're starting.
God
No,
awful.
I think people are probably like, oh, well, this sounds like it's going to be a good one.
We're used to these idiots by now.
Yep.
Anyhow, man, it's been, 2 weeks? What has happened?
It's been 2 days since I've seen you, but it's been, 2 weeks since we recorded the show, so make sure you rev your fucking truck when you drive by, motherfucker.
It's been 2
Don't
seconds.
edit that out. I want these people to know I'm fucking heated.
Buddy, these people ought to know how much we got to holler out the fucking window these days. Summertime.
It's been 2 days since I've seen you, and it's been a couple weeks since we recorded anything, so...
Yeah, it's been a tough couple weeks. It's been rough. Sucks.
Yeah, we've been having a rough time here with the Obscure Curio family, and I want to take a moment to talk about my dear friend Chris Buckley,
Rest in power, King,
who passed away this past week. And for those that are new to the show, he's got a couple of episodes.
I think he's been on 3, man.
Yeah,
if I'm not mistaken.
There was one that we did with him that I've listened to about 3 times this week on repeat, which each time just gets absolutely worse. I don't know why I continue to do it to myself, but I know that that's,
one of the best dudes I've ever known in my entire life.
Yeah.
Uncle Chris Buckley, man. Yeah. And, he passed this week. And it's, late last week, actually. Early this week.
And I don't want to, I want to sound serious when I talk about it, but at the same time, like, it's the tempo and the things we do on the show. It's hard to kind of get serious and to turn it off. So I figured we'd do it at the start. But I don't think there's any other way he would want us to talk about him than if we were giggling and having a good time, because that was Chris,
Presumably, man.
But man,
still
I'm
sad.
Fucking hurting. I'm hurting so fucking bad. It blows my mind. It never gets. And I was thinking about it the other day on the way home. I was thinking, when you go to a funeral of a family member and when you go to a funeral of a friend, there's always kind of a different feeling, I guess. For me personally, it is. But this one didn't feel different. Like, it felt like family. Like, I felt like I lost somebody that was family.
Of course.
And, that's, my friend DeAnthony, he'll be on 3 years in July. And I felt the same way. This is the worst I've felt since he passed away. Like, it was the same, right to the gut, just... it fucking hurts, man. There's no way to sugarcoat it.
A couple weeks ago, my friend Kelsey died, and that was, like, very upsetting. But, and then Chris, I don't know, this one just kicked the shit out of me, though, man.
Yeah.
It was rough.
He was awesome, man. Goddamn, he was awesome. I could never say enough good things about him. Like, he's just one of the... And people always say it, too, he was a nice guy. Like, no, this guy was literally... the most genuine human being I've ever met on my 29 years of walking the planet. I mean, I absolutely love the guy. Like, I thought so much. He was like, we called him Uncle Chris, but he was like the older brother you never had. You know, like he knew things. He knew things about things that you were into, and he knew way more about it than you, and would just, I don't know. You listen to him tell stories.
Talk to you about it, but never make you feel stupid. Yeah. Be like, well, you'll find this interesting, man.
Yeah.
And then just tell you, like, anecdotes. And, just a cool dude, man, was always, like, just, like, one of the chillest dudes to sit and talk to. And like I said, he's on 3 of the past episodes. I'm pretty sure it's 3, because I feel like I did one with him and Nick, and then I did one with he and you, and then I did a live stream that I recorded and posted with just him. Yeah. So I believe there's 3. Man, all good conversations, just like a fraction of insight into, like, the type of dude he is, if you want to check him out, or if you have already. Yeah,
musician, writer, poet. He did it all. I mean, he was,
Yeah, man.
There's nothing the guy didn't do. And you talk about, living it to the fullest. I mean, he had a good time. I loved having a good time with him, and
very authentic dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
It's a tough one.
Still feel fucked up. The funeral, though, was beautiful, man. I mean, I've been to a number of funerals, unfortunately, and this was, like, as far as just, like, the amount of people there, probably, like, the second biggest one I've been to, and it was huge. There was, like, a massive amount of people there showing out for him, and it was good service and everything, and they kept it pretty, what I would expect as far as, like, traditional enough for the family, but non-traditional enough for, like, everybody else, which, like, 99% of the people that showed up to this thing were, like, his tons of friends that he had, man. Because, I mean,
family.
Dude had no enemies,
absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. We were, just lucky enough to be called nephew by that guy. And I think about that just about every day now since I heard of his passing. So I wish that I would have gotten to spend a little more time at the funeral, but I'm glad that I got to go for the brief amount of time that I did, and because I would have never lived myself if I didn't go. So definitely shout out to his family, and I love them. They're some of my good friends, and I really feel for them.
And I mean, obviously, like, hold on, I'm closing the window for a half second while
somebody in a
gravedigger monster truck drives by.
Civic. But I really feel for them, to lose somebody. It's one thing to just lose that kind of person in general, but to have that as your family, what a treat it must have been to know him longer, because I only knew him since 2013. So the 7 years, it's 7 years, right? The 7 years I've known him.
8. It's been about 8,
something like that. It's been the fucking. Yeah. It was so much fun, man. So,
and obviously his whole family we've been tight with forever, and
we grew
that's
up
why we
together.
call him Uncle Chris. Like he was a couple of our best friends, Nick and Matt's actual uncle.
Yeah.
But we were just like, oh, Uncle Chris. That's word. That's our uncle.
They would always tell me. They would always tell me, like, man, you're gonna love my Uncle Chris, man. Like, he's got that same Misfit Shirt, or like, he's into this and that. He likes wrestling stuff. And it took us a while to actually finally meet. And then when we did meet, I don't know, man. It was
hit off, man.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Well, I remember saying both. Like when I met him, I was like, dude, you got to meet my dude Joey. You guys are gonna hit it off. He reminded me of like you, but older. Yeah. And they did. The first night we brought him out there, they were just like back.
I was like, man. Well, because like growing up where we grew up, there wasn't, there was obviously older people that were exposed to the kind of things that we're really into, but like nobody that was really like into it like that was them. Like I see all these people posting like older pictures of Chris when he was like a teenager and stuff, and he always had a Misfit shirt on or like something cool, and like it was awesome that was somebody that was a little older than us that was really into that stuff and would talk to us about it, and not like, I don't know, he lived it, and he gave me I still got that Typo Negative shirt he got. It's I think Brooklyn coming down or whatever. It's got the Brooklyn Bridge on the back. And
hell yeah.
He gave me that, and I was like so fucking ecstatic. I was like, holy shit, because I didn't have a Typo Negative shirt, bro. He gave me his, man, and I got to put up. I don't even wear it anymore. Like, I hadn't been wearing it anyways because I didn't want to get like any more damage because it was an old shirt. But like now it's like, it's one of the prized possessions. It's probably going to end up in a fucking frame, I would say.
Got to retire it.
Yeah, I'll probably put the little, the funeral card with it, and I'll probably get me a nice, like a black frame, and that's going to go on the wall forever. So yeah, man, it's
find that Platte Valley Boneyard CD I got in one of my storage bins. I'm gonna put it with the thing and maybe put it in a little memorial thing.
Because and he definitely he deserves all of that, man. And I was actually I was working on some stuff the other day, and before he had passed, the last time we talked a few weeks ago, one of his favorite wrestlers ever was Taz from ECW. Like, he fucking loved Taz, man. FTW, bro. Like, he was a huge Taz fan. So I've been making figures for a while now, and I was actually working on a Taz figure for him, and I was sending him videos and pictures like through the process of how I was doing it, and he was so fucking stoked. And of course, procrastinator in me, I didn't get to finish it before he passed. So I've been sitting and just staring at that, and I'm like, man, I really hate that I didn't get to give that to him, but he was very pleased with what he saw, and I know that he would have loved it once I finished it. But that was Chris, man. It didn't matter if you were into the same things as him or not. He was just the coolest. I mean, he would talk to you about anything, and I don't know.
I remember he took us out one night on Halloween. I think it was must have been 2013. And, dude, fucking had a great time. Him and his old lady at the time, we went out to like a costume party at one of the bars they go to, and I think we went down to Mag Bar, hung out, stayed at his place. It's a good time, man.
Yeah.
Damn, it sucks.
I know. I don't, I enjoy, like, I've enjoyed the past 10 minutes even talking about it, because I don't ever want to lose the memory of Chris Buckley, So, but that's probably it for me on the.
I don't want to cry again.
No,
man,
I know. I'm like, I'm really trying to not, I'm trying to like end it, and be subtle, but like, in my closing words, first of all, I want to dedicate this episode to him in general.
I was gonna say that. Like this one goes out to you, Unc.
This goes out to Chris.
And that's the thing too, man. Every time I saw him, be like, Unc, what's up? He'd be like, oh, nephew, my dude.
I know. I'd see him at work. He'd always have like, especially in the wintertime, he'd have these badass. He had a black leather jacket with like the patches on it and shit, And he'd stick out like a sore thumb, And I'm like, holy shit! Like, Chris is here. I'd run up to him, and I'd bullshit. I'd kill a good 20 minutes, just talking to him about nothing. Like, we would literally talk about nothing, and it was just, I don't know, it was awesome, man. Like, I could never say enough good things about him. So that's
Oh, I'm hurting.
I know, bro. I know.
Damn.
But it's good. It's good to get, anytime somebody that's close to me experiences somebody like passing away, I always tell people, like, it's good to talk about it. Like, it's good to get it out. Like, you don't want to hold that in. And I'm glad that we've got this outlet to talk and
make people listen, man, because
Yeah.
he deserved to be known by more people. I tell you how many friends he had. He should have had more.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I know, and it's correct because he had a lot of friends, but like he should have had more. Like people should have, like everybody ever that lived should have known Chris Buckley. Like he was just that. And like when we say that, like we really mean he was that fucking cool. He was the coolest fucking guy ever. He taught me how to be cool.
I was
and I'm still not even there. Like
getting a rooster tattoo.
I thought that. So the other day we went down to Louisville and I got a bat tattoo. And on the way down there, I was thinking about getting a rooster tattoo that day, and I didn't pull the trigger on it. But now that you've said that, like
that might be what I get when we go back to your dude.
Get
a little right there,
yeah.
just like a little maybe like something like that. Just
to. Well, we got to start
traditional style,
coloring
maybe.
in my sleeve. We're gonna star and dot and stuff. And he was talking about little things he was gonna put in there.
A little rooster outline.
I might get a little rooster. Like just like the outline, and then like the star and dots around, just to have, I think that would be pretty cool because it's subtle enough to where if you know, you know. And I got it with me, and I got Buckley with me no matter where I go. So, but I hope that if there was anything, if I could just say one thing to him, if he was alive today and he was sitting right next to me, and I could just say one thing to him, I would just thank him for just I don't know, bro.
It's all right, bud. We're gonna stop for a sec, and we're back.
Yeah,
we're gonna. We took a little break, and we're just gonna say, we love you, Uncle Chris. This one goes out to you, but we're gonna keep crying if we keep talking about it. So,
yeah. I like I said, just to finish my thought. I would tell him thank you for, just being Chris and taking me in and being, what he was to me. And that's, one of the best friends that anybody could ask for. And it's definitely an honor and a privilege. And I appreciate you and I love you. And like I said, that's all I got.
That's our piece on it.
That's our piece. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, this episode dedicated to Chris. So we're not going to sit here and cry all night because that's clearly not what he would want us to do.
It's not in the contract.
Yeah, it's not in the contract. So we're going to fucking party and we're going to have a good time tonight. We're going to talk about all sorts of stupid shit and we're going to have fun. And it's going to be a Buckley-worthy episode. So
yeah, man. We're going later this month. So I just went with Womp to get his most recent tattoo. Yeah. And then we're going back to his guy later this month. We're both going to get a little something. Yeah. Then that's probably when I'll get that rooster. I've been working on this arm for
5 years now.
Yeah, takes some time.
Yeah, and I'm to the point now where we're going to start, doing the star and dot and kind of filling it in. So, yeah, I think I'm going to put maybe a little silhouette of a rooster in there.
I didn't start getting anything big. I got like my wrist when I was 18, but this stuff I did in 2014.
Yeah.
And then I really didn't do much besides the little jail tattoos between.
I didn't get any you could see. Like I had, tattoos, but I didn't get any that you could actually see until 2017. I got that Riders on the Storm. Oh, yeah. And that was the first one I got that you could see. And I was like, well, if we're going to do it like we've started, we're going to do the arm.
The rest were in invisible ink, so.
Yeah. And then we got that big-ass wolf, and the rest was history. But for a long time, I just had those two, and then, of course, the Wampus Cat tattoo at the top. But
I remember here in the last couple of years, I remember each time you've gotten something.
It was almost kind of like an event. Usually I'd get like one or two a year, and then we took the whole year off for COVID, and I was like, fuck, man, I really want to get a tattoo. So I've went balls to the wall since that. Same. So I've gotten one.
Gotten 3 this year.
I got the rose, the I Hate It Here. Shout out to Taylor for that one. I got the Ouija in the inside of my arm. Then I got the mom heart over here and the rose, and then I got the bat. So I've gotten 5 tattoos this year. That's the most tattoos I've ever gotten in a year. Yeah. And then like I said, we're almost
I've gotten 3 and I'm getting 2 more this month. maybe 3, depending on when Anna wants to go get our next one. That'll probably be it till towards the end of the year.
Yeah.
And I might get a little something then.
I would say probably the 22nd. I think the 22nd is when we go. I think that day, and then maybe another session after that, we'll have this arm done. Because I think I'm going to have him do as much as he can, and then the second time finish up, and then we're going to put a little cobweb or something in the elbow just because I don't have anything there, just to kind of filler that in. And then that arm's done, man, and then we're on to whatever else I'm going to do. So
on to the next thing. Mm-hmm. Hell yeah. Well, I'm stoked to go back, man. Yeah. That should be a good time.
Yeah, and we talked about the bone saw tats on the last episode. So that's 6 tattoos. I forgot about that one.
Wait, I counted that one.
Here, the Ouija, the bone saw, the arm, and the back. Yeah, I've had 6 tattoos this year.
Yeah, been going in.
Yeah.
Remind me of Zeke in like 2014.
Yeah, I know. He got his whole fucking arm done that year, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, and his shit still looks good, man. His
money thing, too, man. I just can't always afford to. Mm-hmm. I've been wanting to for a while, like every time I have a little money back, but... Right. And then this year I was like, fuck it, haven't done anything. I'll go start doing this.
Yeah. Yeah, you got 3, right?
3 this year. And then this coming Thursday, I'm getting that Mighty Boosh skull right there. And then I'm going back with you on the, what day was it? The 22nd?
22nd. It's a Thursday, I think. Yeah.
I'll probably do the rooster then. I might do the rooster right here.
Get you a cock. I'm going to get me a cock. And,
yeah.
Cocks out for Buckley, man.
Hell yeah,
I love
dude.
It, man.
Yes,
I fucking
sir.
love it. I love it. He would fucking appreciate that. So
that's a good thing.
Yeah.
They just came up with.
So I'm gonna put a little silhouette in this little blank spot here. I think that'd be pretty cool. So,
hell yeah,
or maybe right here. He could probably fit one right there. So
do a little something.
But yeah, so we've been getting rude, crude, and tattooed, baby. And listening to Motley Crue. We almost died, dude. So this fucking dickhead semi-truck driver almost killed us.
Well, let's say first, man, that like I think maybe 5, 6, 7 years ago, they just started installing turnabouts, which are pretty uncommon in the U.S.
Or roundabouts, depending on what part of the country.
Yeah, roundabout.
Turnabout, same thing.
Pretty uncommon in most of the country. There's some areas that
you see them like at like college campuses and shit, and like hospitals, and just a big circle.
Rarely
you drive
in a
high
density traffic area.
Yeah.
People
seem
to have trouble with them.
Yeah, around here they're just not as.
Well, they've been here for years now, and people just kind of still don't get
the concept
where you're supposed to be for where you're going, especially like the multi-lane one.
Because it's not written on the fucking signs by it or on the fucking road even,
It is.
I know, that's what I'm saying. I'm being sarcastic. Like, it's not like it's not fucking written there.
Like, as you're coming up to it 10 times, like, it tells you, like, this lane this way. But yeah, nobody knows how to drive them, man. Every time I hit those things, even the one up here in town, man, is people have, I've seen people wreck over that thing like a million times.
Yeah, they just fucking ramp it. Yeah. Just head on.
But the semi, like we were in the left lane, coming into it, going completely straight, like around it and then the same direction we were going. Semi doing the same thing was making a full left turn. He was all the way in the furthest right lane. We were in the middle left lane to go straight. And he just cuts all the way over, man. He was just like, no, I can't possibly waste 10 minutes going down the road and turning around. I'm just going to cut everybody off and make them do that.
Yeah.
And that's what we had to do.
If I could pull a Cher and I could turn back time, I would have slammed my fucking brakes on right there, and I would have put the car in fucking park, and I would have said, now fucking what? And I would have just stopped right fucking there.
And he would have wrecked over your car. So that's what they do, man.
I hate him.
Semis are powerful.
I hate that guy.
Kitty.
So yeah, that was some excitement. And then we had Chipotle. I'd never had Chipotle before. I've had hotheads, but I'd never had Chipotle. And I had like a pulled pork burrito.
Yeah.
And it was badass. So
pretty much all those joints are a similar style. It's like the burrito version of Subway, like hotheads, fucking Chipotle, Qdoba. But I think Chipotle is probably the better one of all those, honestly. Hothead's good. They're pretty good, but I like the ones that actually have like a lot of different options. Yeah. But as far as the chain ones go, with the like set options, Chipotle is pretty fire. I had another Mexican restaurant yesterday after the funeral with Matt, and then we went to a place called Mangoes down there in that general area, like off Hurstbourne. It was really fucking good, man.
Yeah, I enjoyed the Chipotle. It was pretty cool.
Hell yeah, man.
And they had bottled Coke. I thought that was a nice touch as well.
Yeah, the glass bottles. Ultimately, fuck them.
Yeah, I didn't mean bottled. Like, obviously, normal Cokes had a bottle.
Yeah.
Like glass bottle Coke. I thought
the
that
tall
was,
joints from Mexico.
Yeah,
the
you
good
know, I've been saying that too. They had bottled Coke, and everybody's probably been like, "What an idiot! They have bottled Coke everywhere. Stupid." Glass. They had a glass bottle. Your cat's
excuse me for just
off
a moment.
right now. No, I'm not gonna talk about bottled Cokes. But yeah, so segue into the next topic. Speaking of, July's a busy month for us. So I got us tickets for IWA's King of the Death Matches, which is a 2-day professional wrestling death match tournament. And for those listeners who are not partial to deathmatch wrestling, it's pretty sick, it's pretty disgusting, and it's the closest thing you can get to just murder, I guess. Like light bulb tubes, staple guns, fire, big sheets of like glass, like it's just all sorts of cool stuff.
Real action.
Yeah,
I'm stoked about it.
Yeah,
dude.
so a bunch of us I think there's 6 of us going. We're all gonna roll up to Indianapolis. I got tickets for day 2, which is the finals. So yeah, I'm pumped, man. I cannot.
I hope I
wait
get blood on me, dude.
You will. You're gonna get blood on you. You're gonna get glass and particles in your eyes. Like you're gonna wish you didn't go. It's gonna be awesome.
I'm gonna wear safety glasses.
You should wear. I keep telling everybody we're going with to wear a white T-shirt, and they don't get why. And I'm
basically,
like,
I'm going to. You know that I will be wearing
a white T-shirt, dude. And then when you see your favorite deathmatch wrestler, get a big old hug from him.
Yeah.
But yeah, awesome list of guys too in the tournament. John Wayne Murdoch, Schlack, Atticus Cogar, just a bunch of
Dr. Funyon,
the biggest
Big
names
O Tiki
in deathmatch wrestling today are going to be there. So I'm super excited about it. My friend Rowdy, me and him went to WrestleMania together. His wife went with us to WrestleMania. I could not sell her on going to King of the Death Matches. She ain't coming. She's out. She said, no, I hate that. I'm not doing that. So, but shout out to her. She loves wrestling. I wish she would come because I think she'd have a good time. But yeah, there's
it's gonna be you, Gabby, me, Anna, and Rowdy, and Patrick.
Yeah, that's the crew.
All right.
Yeah. So I tried to get her to come, man, but she wouldn't do it.
And won't get no hepatitis. From
yeah. She doesn't want to get any kind of diseases. So
whatever they got.
But yeah, man, that'll be kind of cool, and everything's kind of opening back. I mean, it's opening back up, but like as far as wrestling stuff, I think WWE's doing a show in Louisville here in a little bit.
They're locking back up in other places. They just had a little outbreak in Sydney, and they're making them all lock in place for 6 weeks. Like they can't go out after 6 o'clock and all that.
That's
shit.
wild, man.
Yeah, but they have like hardly anybody's vaccinated over there. They have a tight protocol, so like an outbreak, there's only a few cases, and then they just lock it down. Right. But a lot of people aren't vaccinated yet. Right. There's a lot of countries. It's like the UK, America, and Canada seem to be the only countries that are like full-fledged vaccinated, even out of like the developed nations right now.
So as far as we've come since like day 1 of COVID to now, I would assume like the treatments have to be better.
Treatments
now,
are
right?
also better. Yeah, they've got a hold on what actually works now. So everything, like even if you're not vaccinated and you get it, your options are still way better.
Right, than they were, this time last year even.
So yeah, I'm comfortable, and I immediately got the vaccine. I wore a mask the whole time, but soon as the CDC said, "Yo, if you're vaccinated, you're straight, no mask. I don't think you're gonna get sick," I stopped wearing it, man. Yeah. Now, when I go in the hospital, if a place still wants you to wear it, I'm not gonna give a business or a facility shit on what rules they have at their place. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. If they say, "Hey, we want you to wear a mask to come in," I'm totally cool. I'm pretty sure we have to wear a mask to get into that wrestling show.
Oh, really?
And masks are required upon entry, and then you can take them off.
No big deal.
And you know what? I read that, and I was like, oh, wow, that's super cool. I'll get a mask, and I'll fucking wear one.
I wore one the couple times I've gone to the, I started seeing a doctor just to get checkups and shit, and they want you to wear one in there.
Absolutely. I got no problem with that.
And I keep one on me and in the car and all that stuff still.
Mask,
But ultimately, as soon as I heard that, I was like, well, I know people say, I've done my own research. What they mean is they've, watched some YouTube videos.
Yeah.
But, I've really looked into the science behind the vaccine, what we know as far as, when new variants come out, when they update the data, if it seems to be, the current vaccines work against new variants. And for the most part, man, it seems, I feel pretty good being vaccinated. And I'm sure with this type of vaccination that they will need some booster at some point probably. But I'm cool with that, too, because, I didn't get sick or anything off the shot anyway. I feel like, honestly, a lot of the people who felt bad after getting the second dose, I think it was psychosomatic because they just heard so much that and they've had other experiences like getting sick after a shot. Right. And so they just worked it up in their head because I didn't feel shit. My arm was sore after the second shot the very first day, but I didn't feel tired, not a headache, nothing. I got
the second shot at about 3 o'clock, and I felt fine. It was a nice day out. I went outside. I did some painting. A friend of mine, she wanted to go to eat. We actually came over here and ate. I come back to town. I dropped her off, and I laid down because I kind of felt tired, and I fell asleep. And I woke up at about midnight, and the only ailment I really had was that I had a really fucking bad headache. It felt like somebody dropped a fucking anvil on my head, and my arm was really fucking sore. Yeah. Now, the next day, I felt a little fatigued, but that could have also been where I was up all night because I had a fucking headache and I didn't sleep.
The symptoms can be real because obviously you're activating an immune response, and feeling shitty is basically your body's. That's how you experience the shit your body's doing to fight illnesses. When you get a fever, your body's getting hot to kill germs and bacteria and stuff. Right. So it feels shitty for you, but it's ultimately good for you. Yeah. When you're nauseous, when you throw up, your body's trying to puke out things from the system that's toxic. Yeah. So, of course, when you start developing the right response you can have. But I'm just saying, for the most part, I feel like people talk themselves into thinking they feel worse. Yeah. Just because they've heard so much. I really feel like I felt bad the next day because I was up with that fucking headache all night. Because I just couldn't sleep. My neck and my head was just shitty. But I'm about to go get a couple more vaccines here soon, man. Found out there was some I hadn't got.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah. The Hep B vaccine that most people our age, we got it as kids. Mm-hmm. But they said that I had no record of getting it, so I'm going to get that. And since they got the Hep A shot now, I'm going to get that because legitimately a decent number of people have caught hepatitis A from eating at a restaurant where a cook didn't wash his hands.
When that big outbreak happened a few years ago, I got mine. Mine at work. Yeah.
In that outbreak, you obviously saw how much it was overplayed on Facebook. They accused everybody of having an outbreak. But at the same time, it was it sucks how much that shit overshadows the real issue. Because, plenty of people were catching it just for years that way. Yeah. And, but yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and get both of those. And,
Ain't nothing wrong with that, buddy.
Do whatever I can to avoid dying. I'm trying to make sure I'm nice and healthy. I honestly have, felt better since the shot. Maybe it's, the stress going away a little bit has helped me stop feeling the physical symptoms of stress, but I felt like it compared to the whole year before, the last few months after being vaccinated, I've just felt physically better. I don't think the vaccine made me better, but I'm just saying there obviously can't be anything that bad in it, right?
Right, yeah. Fine.
So anyway, you all right, buddy?
Yeah, I'm good, man.
Rubbing your neck a little bit.
My neck's been really bothering me the past few weeks. Dude. Just fucking pain in the
allergies,
neck.
Dude. Your motherfucking sinuses go down into your lymph fucking nodes, down your neck, swell up, makes your whole shit hurt. I thought I'd broken my neck until they told me that. I was like,
That's what it fucking feels like.
It's probably allergies.
But yeah, man, I started for all the people that love to listen to me talk about Marvel. I started that Loki show, and I've watched all 3 episodes. I watched the newest episode this morning, and then
be careful with that.
And then there's another new episode coming out this Wednesday.
So Disney Plus, they'll release shows classic style, like an episode a week.
Once a week. Yeah.
I don't hate that because there is something to like having to wait a week and like watching a show during a season. I also like being able to binge stuff.
It's been fun, like with Loki, like just the waiting, like that's fine. Like,
I think there's something to that, man. I think that's like a logical thing to have some shows be that way.
I was the same with The Mandalorian, both seasons, and then that whole year I had to wait to get the second season. Like it was awesome, like I'm cool with that. Like sometimes shows it's not always worth binging. Like it's cool to binge, but like to get
I don't mind.
I like
not
that
at all.
anticipation.
Some shows are like built that way, and some shows that came out weekly I didn't watch until several seasons were out, so I could binge and catch up. And we had been watching The Shy on Showtime, man. Really good show. Fucking loved the first 2 seasons, and we were like really into it. Start of the 3rd season, out of nowhere, they're just at the funeral of the main character of the show. Like, there's several main characters. It follows a few people like those shows do. Yeah. But the main dude, which can't remember the actor's name, it's slipping me right now, but he played Eazy-E in Straight Outta Compton. That guy. He's fucking brilliant in this. And I haven't watched past the first episode of the 3rd season, but all I know is, like, they showed that he was dead, and then they didn't even like address how he died or anything in that episode.
Maybe they'll come back to it.
I don't know. I really
need to watch it.
That dude was so good and such my favorite character on the show that I just like have no interest in finishing the show now that he's not on it. And I checked IMDb, and he's only listed for the amount of episodes of the first 2 seasons, like 20 episodes or 22 episodes. So I knew like he wasn't coming back for sure.
I hate that for you because I know how that goes. But yeah, Disney Plus is really killing it. I know that WandaVision is it's a limited series, like it's just a mini, like it's done, like that's it. Yeah.
That was just a little fill-in kind of gap.
I haven't
for the story.
watched any of the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I will eventually, but I just haven't got to it yet. But Loki has been fucking great. Like, I really genuinely fucking love that show. Like, I think it's awesome. Like, it's really... And they were already talking about they're starting on season 2. So, it's going to be
I love Tom Hiddleston and, like, a lot of the other stuff he's been in. But I dislike... And I know you love Thor, but I'm, like, such not a fan of, like, Chris Hemsworth or the Thor character that I probably have like, barely seen Loki. Because I haven't seen any of those movies, like really. I still haven't watched Ragnarok, which I know you've recommended a lot.
I've only seen them in like, to me. I don't care about
the last 2 are the only ones I can remember, really, like his parts in.
So I had never seen the first 2 Thor movies. I had just seen Ragnarok. So that could also be why I liked it so much, but after watching the first 2 Thor movies, I still don't think they hold a candle to Ragnarok. Like, I think Ragnarok is probably one of the best movies in the MCU.
I think it's like said amongst even Marvel fans that the first Thor movie is ass anyway.
Yeah, I think the first one is okay. The second one is ass, and then Ragnarok kind of redeemed.
So are they doing something with Natalie Portman's character and her like from the first one?
So they're doing Thor 4, which is called Thor: Love and Thunder. And apparently she is going to get the mantle of Thor.
How does that work?
I don't know. I don't know how it's going to go down. But
she just gets to be a Norse god.
I'm assuming that he might just go hang out and become one of the Asgardians of the galaxy and just decide to ride off with all of them. I also don't know if we're going to get a new Asgard. I really don't know what all is going to come out of it. But I think that after seeing Endgame and having Lebowski Thor and all that shit, I really think Thor's story arc is probably the best one out of everybody's. If you watch from the first movie that he has to Endgame of just him.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. Because, I get why people like it.
Loses mom and dad. He loses Loki because Loki gets killed by Thanos. So a lot of really, really shitty things happen to to Thor. He can't save Asgard. His sister destroys it. Well, he destroys it with his sister. He loses his eye. He has his head shaved by Stan Lee. There's just a lot of shit. And then finally he's like overweight and he's just like really struggling. Like, it's almost like the story arc of just a normal person. Like, you don't look at him as just like a Norse god. You look at him as just somebody that, like, this could really happen to you. You've lost everything. And then at the end, he helps, you know, bring it all back in. And I just,
Let me say this, and this is no disrespect to any superhero stuff in general, because you know I actually like a lot of the stuff. I just have never been a fan of the Avengers and all that shit, period. So I didn't hone in on all that stuff. But the story of like losing your parents, that is every superhero. That's every main character of everything ever.
Right. No,
you think about Superman, Batman, Spider-Man, Harry Potter, Frodo Baggins. You gotta be an orphan to be a main character. Second, being a superhero and then failing and then like going through your depression thing and then coming back, that's also like happened to every single superhero.
I get what you're saying, but I think with Thor it was different because he's a fucking god. He's he is the mightiest Avenger, and I have always put him over. Tony Stark was just a fucking rich guy. Yeah. And Captain America, as much as I do like Captain America, like he was a super soldier. Like, there was something about Thor to me personally that I looked at him different. I didn't look at him like those guys, and to see the struggle with him just hit me. Like, I know that's the story arc for every superhero, but to see it happen to somebody like Thor, I'm just saying, had more of an effect on me than, say, a young Bruce Wayne or whatever. Like, because it happens gradually. Like, you don't just start the movie off like, oh, well, Thor's parents are dead and he's out here floating in space because his brother just got killed. Like, you watch it all happen. It's not just we jump in type thing. So once you get emotionally invested and then you see it, it hits a little different. But I like Thor. Loki is a great show. Tom Hiddleston plays the character. He's so good. I'm glad we're getting more of Loki as a character with the show.
I've been trying to get us.
And Owen Wilson's in it, motherfucker.
I saw that.
And Owen Wilson rolls.
Wow.
Yeah. So,
wow.
But yeah, it's great. Wow. There's a lot of things coming out Marvel related. Wow. I really think the next phase might be.
I think the next phase will be better because I think all the stories they're getting into, like the Eternals and shit, I think those are far more interesting stories.
We're going to get more Thanos.
That broader universe of Marvel is the shit that I like.
Yeah. I'm in for all that. I really, they said the last movie announced for Phase 4 a couple years from now is going to be the Fantastic Four, and I swear to God on everything, man, if I don't get Doctor Doom, because he's my favorite fucking villain ever.
They've had a couple chances with Fantastic Four. They better get it right this time.
And I think they will. Blade as well. Ultimately, do Blade well. All that shit. Like, I think it's going to be good, man.
I think Sony just needs to like suck the nut and just like let them have everything so that they can make some. I feel like they could probably do some dope XMen movies. You know what I mean?
They've got the MCU, as far as Marvel Studios, has the rights to everything now except for Spider-Man and Spider-Man side characters.
That's it. So they can do X-Men.
They can do X-Men now. Yes, I feel like
X-Men.
That's gonna happen eventually.
I like those movies, man. You know, as far as the ones that have already come out, especially like the First Class, like the younger character, like all those. X-Men Dark Phoenix.
The one kid showed up on
the movie Logan. The Quicksilver.
Yeah. And that was kind of a cool little Easter egg.
And I like that whole realm of characters. Yeah. So I think getting back into that those were fun movies, man. Yeah. And if you look at the what was the one, X-Men Apocalypse, that guy, like that old god, that was the bad guy in that movie. It was like the prototypical Thanos, dude. He's like a big purple bad guy that had like all the powers, you know what I mean? So
I was saying that I hated that we had the Infinity Gauntlet series without the X-Men, because in the comics, like, the X-Men were a big part of that. Yeah. But I'm assuming that the next big bad is going to be Galactus, who was like way more badass than Thanos. Like, this is the planet eater himself. Yeah. And he was all like, the X-Men were really tied into that. So I think by the time they get to that, in the next 10 years, like they've done with this last 10 years, and we get Galacticus and the big, that's the big bad, we'll have the X-Men, and that'll make
they're going to be pumping them out, too. I don't think you're going to have to have these, 10, 15-year-long arcs from, when the first Hulk and all that shit came out to now, because they had to, finance each one individually and convince them, we got to make this one, too.
We got to tie
until
it
finally it caught on.
Yeah.
Whereas now it's, so big that, they could probably make 5, 10 shitty movies,
we're getting
absolute bombs, and they'll
this year
still be able to pump them
alone,
out.
we're getting Black Widow, Shang-Chi, The Eternals, and Spider-Man No Way Home. So that's 4. I'm pretty sure there might be more, but I know there's 4 for sure Marvel movies we're about to get between now and the first of the year. So you have to think each one of those movies is going to have that post-credit scene, and it's all going to start. And next year we're going to get Captain Marvel 2, The Marvels. We're going to get Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness. We're going to get Thor 4. There's so much shit. Maybe probably the next 5 years, we'll cut it in half. We'll say the next 5 years will probably be, will really be the phase 4.
I'm interested. I'm interested in the Eternals movie this year. Yeah. And then I do like the Doctor Strange, even though I'm honestly not a huge fan of Benedict Cumberbatch as the character. Right. I do like that whole, especially the multiverse. That's where they get into all the interesting fun shit.
You watched the new Star Wars movies, right?
I've seen all of them except the actual last 2 of the trilogy.
So
I've seen the Solo movie.
The dude, I think his name's, is it Oscar Isaac? Man, he's the one that plays Poe Dameron. Yeah. He's playing the Moon Knight. He's getting his own Disney Plus show. Yeah. And I was reading the other day that there's talks that they want to get John Bernthal to reprise The Punisher from Netflix and be on the Moon Knight with him. And I know you're not.
I love The Punisher, dude.
Yeah, and I know you're not a fan of Kristen Ritter, but I also read, too, that there's talks about her reprising her role as Jessica Jones in the She-Hulk series that's going to be on Disney Plus. So I think they're going to slowly start.
Well, can't Disney just make now that they have all of that shit, they could just pick those shows back up, right?
Yeah, so they
only got canceled because Netflix. It wasn't because it was Marvel. Netflix likes to cancel shows early because for them, they get better numbers with a brand new show. Yeah,
they couldn't pick up those characters again until either a whole year or 2 years from the last time that episode aired. Right. So now, obviously, since we lost a whole year to COVID and all these things, all those characters are free, to be whatever. I'm gonna not hold my breath, but we could see Daredevil in the new SpiderMan movie. I could see them sneaking Charlie Cox in there as Daredevil to kind of set that up.
I want them to bring Ben Affleck back, dude.
I'm cool with that. I read, too, that Nicolas Cage was interested in bringing back Ghost Rider, and I think that
Nicolas Cage is interested in doing any movie.
Could you imagine, out of all the things we've come full circle with movies, even the one J.K. Simmons, he had the cameo as J. Jonah Jameson in the last Spider-Man movie. Imagine the pop if we got Nicolas Cage to come back as fucking Ghost Rider in the MCU all these years later.
I would like to see him speed up on the motorcycle, tell Peter Parker to jump on the back, and he's like, "Where are we going, sir?" "We're going to steal the Declaration of Independence." And then they use their superpowers to commit federal crimes, dude. I'd love to see that.
Dude. But yeah, a lot of cool shit coming with the superhero stuff. I'm excited. But I definitely recommend everybody out there listening to check out Loki. I think it's really fun, and I think you'll enjoy it, man, even if you're not huge into the superhero shit,
I'm trying to get into fun stuff, I told you the other day, I'm just trying to let myself live a little.
You ought to, man.
See what I can get
binge
into.
all them Fast and the Furious movies, bro. Really fucking live.
I've been watching whatever lately, you know what I mean? Just trying to...
Me and the old lady's going to go see Fast 9 tomorrow night, so...
Hell yeah, man.
I'm excited about it. I've been waiting a long time to see it because it was supposed to come out last year and it got pushed back, so...
Right.
I'm pretty jonesing.
Nobody does comebacks like the movies.
Family. Just a 2-hour movie of Vin Diesel saying
Around here... Ohana means family.
I was watching
Fast 9.
I've been rewatching them all too to get pumped up for the new one, and So I've rewatched all 8 in the past 3 weeks. I've watched all 8 of them, and God, they get so fucking ridiculous. I mean, the first one is ridiculous, but like, if you watch the first
few
one,
are my favorite, dude, because they're so car and race oriented, and the acting is so bad. Yeah, but as action actors, like the dialogue is still a little cheesy and hammy and stuff, but they all are better as actors in the new movies. But all the fun car shit, it's just like raw action. Yeah. However, man, let me tell you what. I love that new A-Team movie, and I rewatched that like
with
a month
Rampage
or 2 ago.
And Bradley Cooper in them. Yeah, it's
not
a good
new
movie.
now, but the most recent A-Team thing.
Yeah, it's fun.
And I was like, you know what, man, this is action and just a fun, kind of goofy, non-serious movie. You know what, maybe I will watch Tokyo Drift just to get myself primed to go watch motherfucking literally every action actor in the business still, drive a fucking Ferrari out of a helicopter. And Tyrese.
But yeah, so
who has no last name, by the way.
the first 3,
Gibson, isn't it?
Yeah, I was about to say his last name's Gibson. The first 3 are fun. They're great. They lost me after Tokyo Drift because I really like that one, and then 4 is when shit really started getting more into like, we are fucking federal fugitives on the FBI's most wanted list, and we've broke Dom out of prison and like doing all this crazy shit. But I got to when I got to part 7, which was Paul Walker's last one, I always have to get like mentally prepared for that ending, when he they go their separate ways and that song's playing. But there's a scene in that movie where Tyrese, they're trying to figure out how to get to where the bad guys are at, and it's like in this undisclosed location, and Tyrese is like, well, why don't we just hook up parachutes to our cars and we'll parachute in on our cars and land, and we'll do the mission. And like he's saying it like jokingly, and then like the whole family's like, family, and they're like, yeah, it's a great idea, so they fucking do it. So that scene, they're all up in the jet and they all like slowly start putting their cars in reverse, and they're like parachuting down in their fucking vehicles, and then Tyrese doesn't want to do it because he chickens out. So they like force his car to come out, and he's like just flipping through the air, screaming, crying and shit. But it reminded me of this video I watched one time, and it was like, what if in real life you tried to do all the stunts they do on Fast and the Furious, and like how cataclysmically bad it would end for you. And I just saw the animation in my head of the cartoons of like the video. It showed like Dom, he's like, all right, family, we're gonna parachute 10,000 feet in the air in our cars, and like they all go out and all their cars hit each other and just explode and they all fucking die. And I was thinking about that while I was watching the movie, and I was just laughing to myself like, this is so fucking ignorant, bro.
Yeah,
like,
I don't think a parachute could support a car, dude.
No, Kurt Russell, who works for the government, and Mr. Nobody, that's his name in the movie, right. He got him super top secret government parachutes that are super strong.
The way, like, the air's density.
Yeah,
yeah. All right. That makes sense, man.
Well, you got to think by this point in the movie, like, well, when you get to part 8, there's this chick named Cypher, played by Charlize Theron, who is in an invisible jet, and she has this cataclysmic box called God's Eye that can hack into any type of computer in the world, like any kind of video camera. Like you can see anything, like you can watch the entire world on this box. That's why it's called God's Eye. Mm-hmm. And they're chasing her down.
A movie like that with Shia LaBeouf called Eagle Eye.
Yeah, sure. And the whole premise, like what in the trailer for the new one, like John Cena's car literally goes off the edge of a cliff, and she swoops in on that invisible jet and has a magnet, and it catches his car, and they fly off.
That would work.
Yeah.
Have they made a video about that yet?
No, but I'm waiting on it.
I feel like
that's more realistic than the parachute thing.
Yeah. Magnets work.
Yeah. How do they work?
Dude.
I don't want to talk to a scientist.
Miracles, man.
Y'all motherfuckers lying.
Just
getting me
science
pissed.
Bitch.
You a science bitch.
Yeah, I don't know, dude. Remember in Batman where he basically he uses a balloon to anchor onto an airplane, and it pulls him up in the air.
Sure.
Remember that?
Yeah, I know, but I'm sure. I'm saying sure on the realistic level. Yeah, sure.
No, that would work, dude. They used to. That's how they got people out of Soviet Russia. You know what I mean?
Why didn't they just take the invisible jet with the big magnet on it and pick them up?
Because those don't exist.
I feel like I still feel like that's more realistic than the parachute jump.
The magnet, but not the invisible jet part.
Well, it's not really invisible. It's got like these mirror things on it. It's like all based on reflection.
Like an invisibility cloak. Like the real invisibility cloak. It just reflects what's on the other side. Yeah. So
like the whole jet's made of
They
that.
probably have that now.
Yeah,
it's probably
sure
already out there for real. I mean,
yeah.
Those, all those jets they made that don't show up on radar. That's the first step.
Hey, will you say it one more time?
Which one?
Nobody makes a comeback like the.
Nobody does a comeback like the movies.
I remember showing him the trailer for that, and that's the one that I clicked was the newest one they dropped, and that's what it opened with. So I'm already trying to sell him on this fucking movie. I'm like, dude, just watch the trailer. He's like, all right, bro, pull it up. I'll watch it. And the first thing you hear is Vin Diesel just standing there in a black tank top, and he's just like, nobody does comebacks like the movies. And I'm like,
and I was convinced Paul Walker was going to walk out right then.
He's like, he looks at me, he hits me, he said, buddy, if they resurrect Paul Walker, we're fucking going to go see it. And I'm like,
And I still will if they resurrect him, dude. All they got to do is get his brother to come in there and CGI his face on for the whole movie, dude. That ain't disrespectful.
That's a deep fake, baby. I like it.
That is a deep fake, man.
What'd you think about that Halloween Kills trailer?
That legitimately. So I did like the last one, obviously.
Right.
And prior to going and seeing it, I wanted to see it. But that being said, as far as new Halloween movies that have come out, like in the last 10, 15 years. This one is the one that has got me, like, enthused to go see it, dude. That opening trailer, when the whole town's like, we're just gonna go, let's find this motherfucker. Yeah, and he's just slashing left and right, dude. I hope he kills a baby in this one. He was going to in the last one.
He was. He thought about it, and he was like, that's messy.
That's how you seal the deal, man. And then
we talked about that on the podcast, too.
He killed that little kid.
Yeah, he did. He snapped his fucking neck.
He's gonna do a lot of killing in this.
I got a friend that I met at a convention that lives in Illinois, and
where?
In Illinois.
Yeah.
Did I say it wrong?
No, man.
Well, how do you say it?
I'm not. It's just Illinois, but go ahead.
Illinois.
It's not why I had you repeat it.
Isn't there an S in Illinois?
There is, but it's silent, dude.
Oh, so it's So I've been living my whole life a lie. It's Illinois.
Yeah, it's Illinois.
Really?
Yes.
Well, there you go, folks. It's not that I mispronounced it. It's just that I'm a fucking idiot, and I've been stupid my whole fucking life. I could have swore it was Illinois. Whatever.
It's all right,
I'm from a different timeline, bro. It's a Mandela effect, baby. So anyways, I have a friend who lives in Illinois, and he actually went to the test screening for Halloween Kills in California.
Yeah.
And he had to sneak in, like he didn't wear like any of his like Halloween gear, like he had to look casual, like normal.
Oh, it was like
he had to look like he was not
like a
there.
Consumer panel type
exactly.
deal.
So he gets in, he sees it, and then a couple months later, somebody leaks a script out for the movie, and of course he would be the one to know if it was legit or not because he's seen the test screen footage. So he sends me the link to the script. And I think out of like there's a lot of pages. I think I maybe read like the first 5. So like I know like a basic gestalt of like the beginning of the movie. But I didn't want to spoil it for myself because it was supposed to come out last year and then COVID happened. Right. So it killed me this whole year not to go read it. So he
That'd be better to watch than to read anyway.
Right. So he messages me the other day and he says, "Hey man, I got a present for you." I said, "What's up?" And he's told me a few things, nothing like crazy spoilers, because I told him, like, hey, if you want to tell me a few details, just because I'm a fucking geek for Halloween, like, I want to know some things, but I don't really want to know the major plot of the story, just maybe some Easter eggs, stuff like that. And so he told me some things, and like I said, not enough to spoil or ruin the movie. And so he messaged me, and he's like, hey, man, do you want to see the trailer? Which it was supposed to drop for The Purge. Was when the Purge
gonna be the opening trailer for The Purge.
So he said, "Hey man, like I've got it if you want to see it," and it was the bootleg one that I had sent you. And then within like hours of him sending me that, Blumhouse released the trailer because that bootleg trailer had went around so much that
I saw it shared bootlegged a few times that night after you had sent it to me, like on Facebook pages, like just horror fan pages, and then I saw the Blumhouse had shared like the next day.
And
when I saw
the official HD one, a lot better. But a few things I took away from it. Obviously, the Silver Shamrock mask from Halloween 3.
Yeah.
That was really cool because they had a little bit of that in the first one. Like you saw some kids running around wearing those. But to see like the corpses with the masks on and like the little carousel, like the merry-go-round thing, like that was pretty cool.
There go those walking corpses.
But yeah, I think it's gonna be really cool. I like the Frankenstein feel where the whole town is out with the pitchforks and shit, and they're looking for him, and he does not give a fuck. Because he's not really after Laurie or anybody. He's just here to kill this time. Like this is just.
And he's on his. Well, he's like walking back towards his house and they're following the kill pattern.
Yeah,
but dude, that opening scene where they're like in the back of the truck, like it sits literally moments after the first movie has ended. They're in the back of the truck, like escaping, and they see the fire trucks, and they're like, "No, don't fucking put that fire out."
Yeah, and then they go up in there, and then he's waiting, and dude, he's got like half of a fucking hand left. His mask is like melted. He's like got bullet holes and shit. He got shot in the face. Like this is like the most brutal, ruthless Michael Myers we've seen since like the Rob Zombie shit. Like. There's just a lot fucking going on, and I love
stoked,
it, man.
Dude.
Like,
I'm hard up for it, for real.
I think it's going to be great. And I don't know if it's going to be like... I don't think there'll ever be a Halloween movie that's going to like be terrifying or bother me like, the films like Hereditary and shit that we've watched.
Right.
Like, because I'm so into it, and I'm so into the characters, like, the whole story. But... if any of them up to this point have a chance of not only being scarier than the original or being to that level, I definitely think it's this one, man. I really just by the trailer alone, this one looks pretty fucking intense. Like it looks no nonsense. Like, and it looks very realistic to a sense of like this isn't taking place a few years later or. This is all taking place in the same night. This motherfucker escaped the day before. He's killed people all night, and now he's
and we
still
saw it. What year
people.
did that come out when we went and saw it? Didn't we go see it together over here?
Yeah,
like 20. Was it 2019?
2018.
Was it 18?
Yeah,
No. Because it was closer to the quarantine than that, wasn't it? Was it 18?
18, because the sequel was supposed to come out in 2020, and COVID happened.
Goddamn, you're right. Well, so it had been a few years since I had seen the first one, and the way the trailer opens up, it's like right where, I mean, like it was like I had just watched
the movie. Yeah, I know, dude. I had goosebumps right now just thinking.
And the last one was really good, man. Like they really they played it proper. That's all I'll say. It's hard to do those kind of movies anymore. Slashers just aren't. They're not the same anymore. You got to do like crazy, weird gore scenarios, like with Saw and shit like that. I would love to see a Jason revival, man. I know it's going to be difficult, but I would love to see it.
They've just really been locked up in court over the ownership. Victor Miller, who wrote it, come back and said, hey, it's been 30 years now. I would like to claim rights to the original, but he's not going to have the rights to the actual character Jason and the hockey mask and all that, though. He's going to have like the name Friday the 13th, Camp Crystal Lake, Mrs. Voorhees, like Kid Jason, all that shit. Like, it's a big fucking shit show, man. And it's hard to say how long it'll be until we get it, but I think that Halloween really opened the door because they were able to give us a movie that wasn't a sequel, but it was enough of a relation to the, like, because Jamie Lee Curtis has been in so many goddamn different timelines and had so many fucking kids now and like all this shit and has died and everything else. And now to come back, make a movie that big at the box office, that good of a film anyways for a Halloween movie, and scrap all that other shit, but still be able to say, hey, okay, well, let's change it. They're not brother and sister.
And we are getting a Scream, too.
He's been locked up for 40 years. Like you could do something with Jason like the same way.
Yeah, all you have to do is play it off of, just say the first movie or the first two movies. Like, play it off of any kind of little, like, last timeline. Here's the we're getting the new Scream.
I'm assuming that's going to be similar to the Halloween situation from what I'm reading. They're not. I don't think they're going to, when it comes out, I don't think they're going to bill it as Scream 5. It's just going to be called Scream. And I'm assuming, even though that David Arquette and Courtney Cox and Neve Campbell's coming back, I'm assuming they're going to scrap all the sequels, and it's probably going to be a direct sequel from the first one. And we're not going to say that all the other shit didn't happen. But we're just going to kind of.
I wish they'd include the first two.
Yeah, I wish they would just.
Because the college shit's good too, and you could still do fun shit off of the first one, factoring in the second.
I would. They probably will keep the first two and not 3 and 4 because I don't think Jamie Kennedy's coming back, and of course he died in part 2, so that would make sense. If we just pretend, or even the first 3. I mean, even the I don't know,
dude. Nightmare on Elm Street had the revival, and it showed us that, like, with a character like Freddy, you can't have a different actor. Like Michael Myers and Jason, you can switch them up because they don't talk; they're behind a mask. And I like that actor too, the dude from the Watchmen movies. Yeah,
I think that movie would have been better perceived if they would have actually put makeup on him instead of the CGI shit.
You know what, man?
That's my only complaint.
I liked it better the second viewing. The first viewing, I hated it. But the second viewing, I actually thought, this isn't a bad Nightmare on Elm Street story at all. Yeah. But they just didn't do it. Like, all the visual elements looked too much like the movies they were making at the time. They almost had, like, that Twilight blue tint to it.
Right. And that was all. And all those films come out in 2008, 9, 10, you know. And that the remake, the Friday the 13th remake, was really good. I really liked that one. I thought they did a really good job with it because it was kind of like a retelling. The first 5 minutes, like you get like the retelling of the first one, and then he's got the sack on his head, so it's kind of like a tribute to the part 2. Then he gets the hockey mask. Like, it was like a nice culmination of all of them. But with the Nightmare on Elm Street, though, I really hated the CGI. Because Jackie Earle Haley was great. Yeah. He was great in that movie. He's a great actor. Like, he's a fine Freddy Krueger. I got no problem with that. But
they made his face too, like, it just looked like his skin was stretched back. But to be realistic, now to be fair, he did look more like an actual burn victim in that movie. But you can't really play that. You know what I mean? Right. Like, you got, like...
Freddy was like this demonic fucking creature that was burned. He wasn't, you know... He looked like they based him off a pepperoni pizza. You know, like that's, you know. Or no, I think there was a scene in one of the movies where like the souls of the kids were like coming out of his chest, and the makeup artist it is. So we were eating sausage pizza one night, and they all looked like heads, and I was like, dude, we should use that as the kids on his chest. So when they did like all the teenagers coming out of his chest like their souls, they all look like little sausages on the dude's pizza. Like, I don't know, it's just Freddy looked, I don't know, he looked different than just a burn victim, but. It's not that bad. It's not the worst movie I've ever watched. But
I feel like they could do a little better comeback, though. Because here's the thing with how good special effects makeup artists really are, is they could make... There's some people rapping in their truck outside my window, sorry. Yeah.
Jesus Christ. But yeah.
They were rapping really loud. Couldn't understand what the words they were saying.
Did you see the post I made about the Hellraiser reboot?
Oh yeah. I think that could be good.
They got the female lead.
I'd love to see a whole new like. I really want to see them explore those graphic novels, dude. Shit. I think they could do some really genuinely horrific movies with those because the Clive Barker fucking books are fucking
the Scarlet Hymns, I think, or the Scarlet Gospel or some shit. Yeah,
they're actually horrific. Like, it's real horror. And they would be so... Yeah. And the Hellraiser movies are still pretty creepy, like movies from that time are. Yeah. But they definitely don't play anywhere near the level of, like...
Scary those books
exactly. Now would be the time, dude. Bring back Hellraiser, bring back... like that whole universe and do something with it. Yeah. It's a graphic novels, man. They're doing all kinds of graphic novel shit now to try to like get onto the comic book shit.
I know that people talk about, you know, reboots and remakes and all that shit and like us not having original ideas now, but I just think that the 70s and 80s and somewhat of the 90s set such a tone with those characters that like we don't want to give them up. Like, they got another Texas Chainsaw coming out.
Well, the thing about, like, these horror demonic characters and shit like that, it's like, you know,
it makes sense. Man.
Yeah, well, and it also makes sense for them to keep coming back and keep killing and, like, this whole cycle. It's fun. It's like, there's a difference between, I don't hate it with, like, Fast and the Furious and shit. Like, they've made a million of them. It's like, keep doing it with these, like, fun movies. I hate when they just want to remake like a childhood movie or they like out of laziness. They just want to resell you the nostalgia.
Right.
But if you got a slightly new story, or you can just like things look better, like with horror, your special effects and stuff, weren't that great back in the day. You could do them a little better now.
Right.
But and I like the amount that horror still uses like practical effects.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Instead of just going, oh, we can make this look better with CGI now, which, by the way, no, you can't.
No,
like the practical effects always look better.
Yeah.
But they just like do updated, just like way better practical effects than they had in the day. Yeah. So it's okay to like, oh, let's make him kill some more because this time it's going to look way cooler.
Yeah.
You know?
I agree. I've seen too about Evil Dead. They got another Evil. They're gonna do another Evil Dead. I don't know if I'm hoping that is a sequel to the Evil Dead remake that came out in 2013 because that movie's fucking great.
I loved that remake.
But I'm assuming that that should be coming out maybe within the next 2 years or so. They're gonna get on that. They got a video game coming out too, and and Bruce Campbell's like involved and.
You get to play as him?
You get to play as Ash.
Yeah.
So I'm stoked for that because I'm a huge fucking Evil Dead nerd as well. But yeah, those movies are great too, and that's another thing too. Like people didn't think that Evil Dead was going to be good without Bruce Campbell in it, and it was fucking great.
Well, with the Evil Dead,
that movie's fucking horrifying. Like that Evil Dead is fucking horrifying.
The remake
is
like a real horror movie, whereas like the original was so campy that like the directors knew like, well, let's go campy with it. And they went into the Army of Darkness and all that kind of shit. Like let's play that way. But the remake was like, well, let's make Evil Dead a scary movie.
Yeah. The
first one was genuinely creepy.
Oh yeah, I was about to say there's
some
campy
into the second.
There's some things in the first one that will really bother you. That's like it gets real dark and serious real quick, and then you get to the second one, like they get the talking moose head on the wall and shit, and then you go back in time for Army of Darkness and shit. Yeah. And just I don't know, they're fun. And the TV show was the same way. Ash vs. Evil Dead. It was fucking hilarious. Like I loved it. But yeah, that remake, buddy, that thing's a lot. And she's slitting her tongue with the box cutter blade and shit, and like
that looks nice.
I fucking loved it, man. So
I also want to see that new Shyamalan. I know he's disappointed in the last few years.
Is that the name of it?
Yeah, Old.
Yeah.
I know, like with the Airbender and then all a lot of his other stuff, but. I'm still here for him, man. I still like the old joints. I also liked the whole like new Unbreakable saga with Split and Glass.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, this one might not be bad. And like they give you the weird twist like premise in the trailer, right? Like, oh, the beach.
So what's gonna be the twist? In
30 minutes on the beach is like a day. It's like a year in real life. So people are aging real quick. They're getting really old. There has to be something else to it. I hope the twist isn't cheesy like it was in The Happening. Because The Happening, I was rewatching the beginning of that movie the other day. I forgot, dude. Genuinely horrific scenes. Like they shot
the lawnmower, son. The
lawnmower.
Fucking lawnmower.
Well, the beginning where they're at the construction site and people just start. That scene where he looks up and bodies are just falling off the buildings. And the police officer just like gets out of his car and shoots himself in the head. Falls to the ground and blood's just spurting out of the bullet hole. Yeah. Like the whole thing just like imagery-wise played perfect. And I remember liking the movie up until the twist.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like, we get it, dude. It's not bad that it had an environmental message. It just didn't like, wasn't a great twist. The way it was played cheesily. Yeah. And it was like too quick of a, I hate when they try to wrap up the movie after a twist in like 2 seconds.
Yeah.
But anyway, I think this one will be good. But we're about an hour and 10, buddy. You want to wrap this one up?
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, we've talked wrestling, comics, and horror movies. I think Buckley would like it.
I think he would too. Just to sound off, this one's for Chris. I appreciate you. I love you.
Love you, Unc.
Thank you for everything. And I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. It was a little rough at the beginning, but we made it through.
We got through it,
man.
We got through it together.
I think he would appreciate it. I think he would love it. And until next time, I love all of you guys. Take care of yourselves and enjoy every moment with your friends and your family because you really never know, man. So I'm out on that note, buddy.
I second that. Love you guys. I'll see you next time.
Mwah.